SuperGrok is currently $30 a month, which is $10 more than OpenAI's ChatGPT Plus. The question I'm going to answer is SuperGrok worth the extra $10 a month, or are you better off sticking with the cheaper ChatGPT Plus? Today, I'm going to compare both of these across a range of different categories to find out once and for all which one is the better value. A lot of this does come down to personal preference, but I think objectively, there are clear winners in certain categories. So let's start out with what we can definitively say when we compare Grok to ChatGPT, and then we'll take a look at some of the categories that are certainly a lot more divisive. At first glance, both of these tools look very similar. This, for instance, is SuperGrok. Here is the chat box, and you can attach files, you can use projects, or you can organize chats and have different knowledge bases, and you can switch between different models. Similarly, here's ChatGPT, and same thing. You can ask your questions here, you can attach files and photos and switch between models, and it also has projects. One thing they both also do is they create images. With ChatGPT, you can do this directly in the chat just by selecting images. With Grok, you have to select on the left where it says Imagine, and then you can describe what image you want to create. Now, with Grok, the image generation process is much faster than it is with ChatGPT. Grok will also send you multiple images that you can choose between. And if you look at the images, they look really nice. ChatGPT does take longer, but it is worth the wait because the images look so good. In fact, right now, ChatGPT has what is considered to be the best image generation model in the world. So even though Grok is much faster, personally, I would prefer to wait a little bit longer for better quality images like the ones you get with ChatGPT. However, that's not the full picture because even though ChatGPT creates better images, it's not able to create videos for you, which is something you can do with Grok. So if you come back to the images that were generated by Grok, if you like any of them and want to turn them into a video, all you have to do is click right here where it says Make Video. And it's not only generating the video right now, but it's doing it incredibly fast. And the videos that it makes are really good. I mean, check this out. That looks fantastic. Now, the entire Grok experience of creating videos is incredible. If we click on New Generation, you can see that you can create a video from scratch just by describing what you want. So you don't have to start with an image first. And then with the video generated, you can download it, regenerate it, extend it, or apply these presets. It's a very good video generation tool. It's actually one of the better ones that I've used. So Grok just doesn't win here by default. It earns this win with such a good model and tool for generating videos. Next, I want to talk about how good each of these tools are at coding. Now, to be fully transparent, I'm not a coder myself, but I was able to use both of these to spin up some quick apps, and they both worked fine for what I do. The problem, though, is deploying apps. Even though you can use chatbots like ChatGPT or Grok to make apps, how do you actually get them production ready? That's been the roadblock for a lot of people when it comes to vibe coding using regular chatbots. That's why I'm excited to partner with the sponsor of today's video, Emergent, because they solve that problem. And if you stick around to the end of this read, I'll share with you how you can get an amazing deal to try out this incredible software for free. Emergent is a full stack AI platform where you can describe the software you want to create in plain English and get a live deployed apps without needing to know how to code and without any dev team. It builds, deploys, and hosts your software end to end from a single conversation. So check this out. Let's say you run a jewelry store and you're paying for expensive software to track your inventory that doesn't even have all the features that you want. Instead of doing that, you can just ask Emergent to create the app for you. You can see here, I literally just told it to create an inventory tracker for a jewelry store with all the features that I need. It'll then create an app for you. If you want to make any changes, you can describe those to the agent. But once you're happy with it, you can click on deploy and have a working software tailored for your business. You could potentially build an entire software stack for yourself or your business that replaces expensive software that you were using that didn't fully fit your needs of your business anyway. With Emergent, you can build the exact software that you need with all the features you want just by describing what you need in plain English. When you sign up today with my link in the description down below, you'll get free credits to try out Emergent for yourself. So if you want to try it out, make sure to use my link in the description down below. And now back to the video. Okay, let's look now at what it's like to actually use ChatGPT and Grok every day, specifically how both of them handle normal everyday tasks. First, let's take a look at how well they connect up with third-party tools and apps. Here inside ChatGPT, if you click on the left where it says apps, this will show you all the apps that you can connect with ChatGPT. And as you see, there are a lot of them. So for instance, if we come over to productivity, you'll notice that we have Gmail here. This will allow ChatGPT to find emails in your inbox and even to compose emails for you. So the more of these apps that work with the AI that you want to use, the more it's going to be able to help you with your productivity. And ChatGPT is great at that because there are so many apps that it connects with. Grok recently added this ability. You can see right here, connectors are now available. Taking a look here though, you'll see that there actually aren't that many apps that you can connect up with Grok as of right now, although I'm sure they'll be adding more soon. So if you use a lot of tools outside of Grok or ChatGPT that you want to be able to connect up with your AI, you definitely want to use ChatGPT for that. But one thing that Grok does much better than ChatGPT is summarize YouTube videos. So if you grab the URL for any YouTube video and throw it into Grok, you're going to get a great, accurate overview of what the video is about. And it seems to be pulling this directly from the transcript of the video. ChatGPT, on the other hand, is unable to do this. It actually says it's not able to pull the YouTube transcript directly. So instead, it sort of guesses what the video is about and gives you a summary of what it thinks the video is about. So if you're looking to summarize YouTube videos, Grok for sure wins here. If you ask most people why they use Grok, more often than not, they'll tell you it's because of its deep integration with X. Unlike other AI chats, like ChatGPT, Grok has real-time access to what is happening on X. And this is critical for any type of work that requires you to be up to date on what's trending. So I know for myself, since the AI landscape is changing so quickly, and most AI news is first announced on X, Grok has been invaluable for helping me plan out content for my YouTube channel where I talk about trending AI topics. ChatGPT can help you stay on top of trends to some degree, but not at the same level that Grok can. It tends to give you more vague overviews rather than specific information like Grok does. So if staying on top of what's happening right now matters to you, then you'll want to use Grok. However, outside of trending news, if you use either ChatGPT or Grok for research, I think you're going to be happy with either one. I personally don't find that one is better than the other, so for general research, I'll say that this is a tie. A lot of people are realizing that AI can help speed up and improve the work that they do. But if you're going to use AI to help you with your work, you want to make sure you're using the best tool for the job. Here, I gave both Grok and ChatGPT the outline for this video that I'm recording for you right now. And I asked both of them to turn the outlines into YouTube-ready scripts. The first thing you'll notice is that Grok gave me the script in a chat response. ChatGPT, on the other hand, gave it to me in this block, which is called an artifact. This separates it from the main chat, keeping it very organized and easy to find. It's a lot cleaner and easier to use than Grok delivering it to you in a chat. In addition to that, I found that the writing I get from Grok is just always weaker than what I get with ChatGPT. It's also less likely to follow instructions. So I specifically asked it to turn the outline into a fully fleshed out, ready to go script with no placeholders. Grok didn't do that. Instead, it actually left in placeholders instead of filling them out when ChatGPT perfectly followed the instructions and created a fully ready to read script. So for writing, I definitely prefer to use ChatGPT over Grok. A ChatGPT subscription also gives you access to OpenAI's Codex, which is an app that you can use both for coding and for knowledge work. What's unique about it is that it's able to interact with files and folders on your computer. So I can point it at a central folder where I'm doing all my work, and I'll be able to see the files in there, interact with them, and create new ones. Grok doesn't quite have anything like this. There is Grok Build, which is an agent that runs in your terminal, but it's not going to be as easy to use as Codex. Of all the different AI tools that I've used, I find super apps like Codex to be some of the most powerful and useful ones for knowledge work. So without a doubt, ChatGPT wins this category. But outside of having AI do work for you, let's talk about how each of these is as an everyday AI chatbot. The first place you're going to see a big difference is in their memory. Memory is what allows your AI to remember past conversations and to bring them up when relevant in any future conversations that you have. Grok has memory, but it's currently in beta. ChatGPT's memory is, on the other hand, very mature. It's been out for a long time, and it's very good. In fact, it has what is probably the best memory of any AI chat out there. It feels very natural, and ChatGPT only brings up past conversations where it's actually helpful. That makes a big difference when you're using ChatGPT every day because you want it to feel like it understands you and is a natural thought partner. And because ChatGPT's memory is so good, it's the best at doing that. It makes you want to use it more because it knows who you are every time, and it gets better the more that you use it. As for the responses themselves, one thing you'll notice if you use both of them on their default settings is that they give very different styles of responses. Out of the box, I find that Grok is a little bit more thorough in all of its answers, where ChatGPT tries to adapt the answer based on how much information it thinks that you want. I don't think that one is better or worse than the other. It really comes down to personal preferences. And in the settings for both Grok and ChatGPT, you can personalize them to get your responses looking exactly the way that you want. With this personalization, I don't think that one is better than the other. So I think this one is a tie in terms of the structure of the responses that they give. Same thing generally for the quality of the responses. Both of them give very thorough answers. I don't think that one is more accurate or better than the other. I do think that ChatGPT is a little bit more professional, which we'll talk about in a moment. But as for the material itself, I think they're both good, about equal. Of course, none of those features matter if you're not even able to use these tools because of their usage limits. Both ChatGPT and Claude have usage limits. ChatGPT is very easy to understand. You can send up to 160 messages with the latest model every 3 hours. If you hit your limit, then they will downgrade you to a weaker model. And then once that 3-hour window resets, you can go back to using the latest model. It's very easy to understand. Doesn't matter what types of messages you send or how big they are, it's always 160. And even though I've been using this a lot alongside Grok the past few days, I haven't hit this message limit. I think that 160 over 3 hours is plenty, at least for me, and I think it's going to be plenty for a lot of people as well. With Grok, things aren't as straightforward because even though they give you a certain number of credits with your SuperGrok subscription, they don't make it very clear how many credits you get or how many credits each type of prompt uses. The good news is that you get a certain number of credits for each model, which means that if you hit your limit with one of the models, you can just switch to another. That also applies to image and video generation models. So if you hit your limit with image generation, for instance, you can still create videos and you can still chat with Grok. For images and videos, I found myself hitting the limits quite frequently. For text, on the other hand, I think the limits are very usable. Though I do hit them with expert, it's easy to switch to fast and then continue my work. However, if you don't want to have to worry about your usage limits and you want a more straightforward experience, I would go with ChatGPT. Next, let's talk about value, which is not only the price of each of these plans, but how that price compares to what you're getting. ChatGPT Plus costs $20 a month and basically includes everything that I've shown you so far. Grok, SuperGrok, costs $30 a month. Now, even though we're comparing SuperGrok to ChatGPT Plus, I also want to note that OpenAI has a ChatGPT Go plan, which is only $8 a month, and Grok doesn't have anything like that right now. Although they've had cheaper plans in the past, it's kind of hit or miss whether those are available. But regardless, we're going to compare SuperGrok, which is $30 a month, to ChatGPT Plus, which is $20 a month. Now, I've made a few videos like this one in the past comparing different AI chats and plans, and I never really make a strong stance in any of them because the truth is the best AI for you really depends on what you need. But I think right now I'm going to make my strongest stance so far. For most people, I think ChatGPT Plus makes more sense than SuperGrok. It's cheaper, it includes Codex, it's really good at writing and knowledge work, it creates the best images, and it's just really generally good at everything else. But if you need a lot of access to X data or you want really good video generation tools, then SuperGrok makes a lot more sense. In addition to that, there are a few other categories that may make you want to switch over to Grok from ChatGPT. The first is personality. A lot of people feel that Grok has more personality than other tools like ChatGPT, and it's more honest and direct. I think that used to be the case, but I feel that ChatGPT has gotten a lot more personality now, and it's a lot more direct than it used to be. But there's another piece of this that's worth talking about, and that's politics and censorship. Now, I tend to not talk about politics on my channel because I think everyone, regardless of their political affiliation, should learn how to use AI tools. But of course, politics always finds a way to creep into the conversation, especially around AI. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because Elon Musk himself has said that he wants Grok to be the anti-woke AI, one that's a lot less politically correct than other tools like ChatGPT. For some people, that is very important to them and is part of the reason they use Grok. So do with that information what you wish. Another reason some people really like Grok is because it's more willing to engage on certain topics that ChatGPT would be unwilling to. This would include things like what would be considered conspiracy theories, not safe for work content, and also just regular everyday questions that ChatGPT might tiptoe around, but Grok is willing to talk about more directly. So if that sort of thing is important to you, then you'll probably want to give Grok a try. So when comparing Grok with ChatGPT, I think it's important to consider how they stack up against each other in each of these different categories. Because even within each category, there's not always a clear winner. But let me know in the comment section down below which one you're using or not using and why. This is also part of an ongoing series I have where I'm comparing different AI tools and plans. So if you have any suggestions for what you want to see compared next, let me know in the comment section below. I was thinking, for instance, of comparing different private AI chats or different local models. Just let me know what you guys want, and if there's enough interest, I'll make a video on it. Otherwise, if you want to check out another video in the series, I have one right here where I compare all the different Gemini plans. So if you want to see which Gemini plan is the best value, click on this video and I'll see you there in 1 second. Bye for now.